The radiation that I had, the tumor was on my collarbone, and when I had the recurrence, they had to go in and take out my pectoral muscle and basically build the right side of my chest wall, removing ribs and so forth, and the lung was affected. What they did in order to rebuild the chest wall was they put in a Marlex, which is something you'd see basically on the bottom of a boat. It's what they used back then, 20 years ago. And that's what got infected. My body rejected 2 years after the surgery in 1983. And basically what happened is the upper part of the lung was damaged from the radiation, but this mesh had adhered to my lung. And why the infection was so difficult to cure was that in order to cure the infection, they had to take the mesh, which had become part of the lung. So it was a big ordeal in trying to get it out and trying to save as much of the lung as they could. And they did save quite a bit of it. But it's not what it could be. My right arm, I have pretty severe case of lymphedema, which is the swelling that you get, having had them go in. It's a combination of the radiation and the fact that they had gone in that same area 20 plus times. So it's the scarring. So I do get swelling there, and that's probably one of the things that I think on a day-to-day basis I get more frustrated with, because depending on the time of season, heat really affects it and it blows up more, and I have to be very conscientious when I travel to wear a sleeve. I'm very susceptible because of the swelling and the fact that I don't have a good blood flow there, that I can't get cuts. If I get cuts, it can turn into a strep infection, as they refer, and I've had 2 of them. One very severe, where the arm just blows up and it's as hard as a rock, and you have to go in the hospital for a week of antibiotic therapy, and it's not a fun place to be as far as the pain level. But that's probably one of the bigger side effects I have. I actually was very, very happy, and now I can say it, that happened, because I think it forced me to really look at what happened. And it's what got me into being able to say the C word, cancer, and being able to talk about it, because I'm very outgoing, I'm very social, I've got a great family, but it was an area of my life that I didn't want to share with people. And I think part of it for me, and I support people today, I think it's just wonderful how young people talk about it and older people talk about it, and it's not the taboo that it was 20 years ago when I was diagnosed, because it was pretty lonely, because you almost felt like you couldn't talk about it, because people would assume it's a death sentence. People would treat you different. They just did. It's not that they meant to, but it's just human nature. So for me, I just think I'm just glad that things have shifted. I think that's probably, other than the fact that I had a lot to get through, I think our society has changed in terms of its perception that we are survivors and people do make it from having had cancer and go on to live very happy and fulfilling lives. I'm Karen Stevens, and I'm a 24-year sarcoma survivor.